meant to be sound? Not Claire. Susan, is it meant to be sound?
Oh, shit.
I take it that that's yes.
Broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. You can't find a higher. I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Mountains, we can walk it out. Mountains, the mountains. Silence is it quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Mountains.
Now, ladies, just give me 1 second. This is acting a little strange for me. It's okay. It's all good.
It is all good. Can I just start by saying a few words, Susan, before I hand it over to, well, before you start? Will that help to get you sorted there?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Just wanted to say thank you for everybody who's holding space for us at this moment in time. Those that can't make it today, that have sent their apologies in, those that are here and have graced us with their presence, and also those of our ancestors, all those that have walked this land before us, all those that didn't walk this land. Just to thank everybody who is holding space for us with absolute massive gratitude. We're at an amazing time in our earthly experience. And what we've got to present today is really come to fruition in a very organic and natural way, but it's a gift back to humanity. And it's great to be able to use those words. I've been using them for many years now, and people haven't quite got it. Whereas I think now people are getting it. People are getting it that little bit more. So thank you, Claire, and thank you, Lenny and Susan, for stepping up and being open to something slightly different than what we've been presented. So thank you.
I truly appreciate this. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, what happened there was it's okay, glitches are fine. I actually thought I had the Zoom back up again, but it was the Zoom that was live. Yeah, so that's why you were hearing the word in the background. So I have been raving on about a game, right? And I feel like I shoot myself in the foot every time I say it, because it's not just a bloody game, okay? I'm actually so excited. Like, I have mine.
Oh, you didn't do the video. Have you got yours there?
I didn't do the video, but I do have it.
Yay! Snap! I think that's the beautiful thing. We've currently got a competition on it. Well, not a competition. We're currently gifting the game. The game's been around for, I'm sorry, this is the thing about when you've been on your own doing this for a long time. I'm not used to somebody asking questions. So maybe I'll just stop and let you ask questions, Susan.
That's okay.
I'm so used to that.
But anyway, no, like, seriously, I actually get annoyed and I get frustrated, and it's okay, because it's just, at the end of the day, this is going to reach the individuals who need it. This is going to amplify the lives of people that get the gist of what's going on. So this is why, if I am hoping this is making sense, this is why I'm not pushing it out there to say, do you know what, you're seriously missing out by not getting this. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, it's interesting, because since giving it away for free, because the game's been sat there, and I knew that it could never sit and gather dust. And the other day I walked and I thought, those games are gathering dust. And that was my trigger to say, right, I've got to do this another way. I could sell the game, but in actual fact, I couldn't sell the game, because it was a gift. I was told it's a gift for humanity. And so that was about 12 years ago now. And I was kind of like, gift back to humanity. How on earth is this going to be a gift? The amount of energy, and they're all bespoke games, they're all individual games. So I had to get out of the way of thinking how to do it. And then different opportunities have come up and have started these wheels going. And now we're gifting the game, but it needs to be a community that see it. It can't just be one or two people like it has been. It needs to be an army of people, because every single person is a pioneer in making this happen for humanity. You look at, if I said to you, and I don't know if actually in Claire and Lenny, if I had to say, maybe type it in the box, if I had to say to you, actually name a game, and you, Susan, name a game that you would have played as a child, or that you would have known as a child, what game would it be? If you had to think of a game, it's going to be interesting, because I know that Lenny's not from England. So if you had to name a game as a child that you played or that you know about, what game would it be? Is it open? Ludo? Okay. Yeah, well done, Claire. So Ludo would have been, I'm really glad. It's great when somebody says the one that I need. What would you have said, Susan?
Snakes and ladders.
Okay.
And then we had rounders and hopscotch.
Right. Indoor games. Yeah.
Say what?
Indoor board games. I should have said clarity.
Okay, right. No, that's just okay. Monopoly, snakes and ladders.
Yeah. So this one that begins with M is a popular one. Now, that is one that everybody knows. It's been going for 80 years and it's sold something like 250 million games. Now, when you look at that as a game, this is what we're set at. This, okay, if we had to go for the biggest game, that's the game. So we've got to go equivalent to that, but we're going to have to do it as an army, and I say a peace army, not an army, fighting army, but a group of people that spread the word of mouth, that it's not in shops, that this gets distributed amongst the people and the wealth gets redistributed as well. And that's the key to a lot of this. That's why I wish I could scream at people and say, please claim your game, because I can't go across that line when it comes to respecting that individual. And once that person comes over that line, then it's game over. We've actually created a tipping point for humanity. And I mean massive.
So here's the deal, right? Yeah. And for our viewers watching as well, again, we keep saying a fucking game, and it's not just a fucking game, right? I just want to,
people say that to me. They say, that's not a game. And it's kind of like, but it is a game. Life is a game. But it's so intense. It's so intense. And what we're doing, we've got the real life game. We've been playing in a game we didn't realize that we were playing in. And most of us don't like it. We don't like that game. So it's kind of like, okay, let's match with another game. This is the game. And this game helps you to find and discover you. It helps to release your voice. It's helped people. I was in Ireland and there was a young boy who was suicidal, and I'd gone volunteering. And I walked into the house and he said to me, what is it that you do? And I said, oh, actually, I do storytelling and I've got a game. And then I realized he's got all excited and animated. And I thought, oh, I hope he realizes that. I thought he doesn't realize it's a rollout game, because I thought, of course, 14-year-old, he's thinking game, you're joking, computer game, So I just had to try and say to him, no, it's not what you think, that kind of thing. And when we sat and played, oh my gosh, he put his hand on his chest and he just rubbed it so hard that he was just like, oh, thank you so much. He said, just for helping me to get this stuff out. That will always stay with me, because young people need a voice. Young people need to speak out. On our testimonial page, you'll hear a young person, Josh, he speaks out. And like I said, it's fun. He's had a counsellor for many years, and he was saying, this is fun. He said, it's just random. You throw the dice and you land on what you're meant to land on. The dice isn't random. You land on what you're meant to, your message. So it's an intuitive tool for you every time. I've played it myself and it's blown me away as to what it's triggered me to remember and to write down. It's incredible.
It is incredible. And in saying that, you can probably, for everyone that's listening, you can probably sense the excitement in our voices, and I really hope that I don't miss something because I'm so bloody excited. That's but I want to ask you a very, very important question, okay? And you can sit on it for a second, but basically, who is this game for? You said it's a game of life, right?
Yeah.
And that's such an epiphany for me, because I was trying to get the word game out of my head, but no, you're right, it's a game of life. We are in a game of life, so I get that now. So tell me,
who's it for? So this is a question that was often asked. My background, social work, so I'm a carer. I've volunteered all my life, so it's for volunteers. Volunteers often don't get recognition. I've worked a lot in the voluntary sector. I've run a charity myself. And what I noticed was that a lot of people would give their time when really they needed to give the time for themselves, to self-care. People needed to be strong. I walked in organizations and thought, we're just in a cycle of sickness, and it's not anybody's fault. It had to be like that in order for us to say, let's see if we can do something different. And so it's for anybody, it's for everybody and anybody who breathes. That's who it's for. And when I was doing marketing to try and get this out there, because I was so frustrated of how am I meant to do it? So I went and spent a fortune learning how to market, which is where I met Lenny. So I met some beautiful souls along the way that have kind of said, I'm coming with you, Anthea. And And it's been unfolding. And so the children as young as 2 have played the game. We have some little 5 more counters for the different areas like time. These are all things that we've got in common, money. And little children will pick the counters and place them onto the board. So people will say to me, well, what age is it from? And I just think, do you know what? As long as you supervise your child, allow the child to play, because that's what it's about. It's not about the adult saying, this is how we do it. This is about the child showing us, how do you do it, you know? And so children, parents, conscious parents, parents that are people that have got mental health challenges. Our lady played who had a mental health challenge. In fact, she didn't play because we just sat and talked. But that's another, but she left uplifted, colour in her cheeks and just animated. And yet she'd walked in zombified. People, older people, especially in older people's homes that need care plans. I would love somebody who is specialised in looking after older people or passionate about older people more than anything, to use this in the care homes. Because when people are in the care homes, what plans have they got? What plans have they got to not just sit there and watch television all day, but to actually do something, what they're passionate about? Like I said, I've worked with so many different people with disabilities, just people who have been the lady who actually helped to bring this about. She has rheumatoid arthritis. And I remember going and visiting her in her home and thinking, how on earth am I meant to help her? And I cried. When I left the house, I was kind of, oh my gosh, who's there to help this incredibly sad situation? And I thought, do you know what? It's the listening ear. Counselors, coaches. This is the new coaching tool.
Yeah.
It's impossible for us to coach people. How can we coach people when we're still getting our own stuff together? Our system just needs to be switched a little bit. So this tool enhances what people are currently doing. So it's a self-care tool for everybody, to self-care, to use it for themselves, but also as well to use it to build communities. Lenny is building a community in Denmark of an empowerment club, one of the first outside of the UK, which I'm so excited. And that's because people have come and claimed the game from Denmark. So there's a little core group of people. And it's kind of like, wouldn't it be brilliant if they had these community centres or even homes where people just came together and played the game? And at the end of it, just shared. And as they're doing that, they're raising the vibration of our planet, which is desperately needed. I can go on forever, so just jump in, Susan, because I know I can feel it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm excited.
No, what I loved about it as well was when we did the exercise, right? For me personally, like when I saw this, I was like, damn girl, you're onto something. I'm definitely going to share this around. But when we were doing the exercises, like, and you know, for whatever reason, I went onto whatever space. It was fun and we laughed and like, you know, and then we paused for questions. But when you write down like what space you're at or what you need to do next, you're giving yourself permission to release whatever's on your mind. When you do that for yourself, you give like people out there who are not so confident to speak up for themselves, you are giving them the permission to do that as well.
Absolutely. And it's based on life, as Claire's just said. You know, she was just writing life as a game. I did a little video recently and I was kind of like, and the game came up as I claimed the game. And then I thought, that's it. We've all been in this game, that we're just all puppets in this game. We're not, you know, we haven't realized that we've been used for many centuries. So it's not just now. So all the problems that we're trying to deal with or correct, it's ancestral.
Yeah.
But yet if we address it here, and just before I came on, I was just saying to you, Susan, wasn't I, that my throat started to play up, and I thought, right, okay, so this is about voice. And then my hand, which is about the hand that feeds, you know, it's kind of like speaking out. It's like that whole thing of speaking out. We're not used to speaking out, and so this is really common. And then my ankles started to twinge, which I know is related to my great grandfather, who was born in Ireland, which is why this had to be a connection. This was on the cards, a contract. And so I just thought to myself, wow, you're really telling me that this time that we're currently in, where there's going to be a lot of the dark energies that have been in our world that we've not necessarily been open to, because we've just wanted to send love and light. and which is okay, but it's the dark needed to be recognized, and now it's really coming up to be seen. This is a time where we have to stay within the eye of the storm. And it's no surprise that the game is a spiral. I didn't know when I drew it that it was a spiral. It was only when it was designed. It was like, oh my gosh, that's one of the oldest symbols in our world. So this has all been intuitive. It's not been Anthea Fenton thinking. And so that eye of the storm, that spiral, that's where we need to say it's anchoring into that space and tuning in to our ancestral links. And we do it naturally. There's been research that has been shown that more recently that it says about our bodies carrying the DNA of our ancestors. So when we speak, we release our cords. And as we release our cords, we're healing because that vibration is rippling into our ancestors, which is why this has got a massive connection to trees, you know, because it's about the roots, and we are those trees, and our roots are still with us, you know. So there's a lot of symbology in it in many ways, but we have to keep it simple, and that's why it's in the form of a game. Throw the dice and just see what happens, you know. It's because we've had this complexity, this complex world, and it's like we've been out on the branches and we've had to come down the bark and into the roots and just be in the dark and be in the unknown and trust the heart. Just trust to say, do you know what, I'm going to claim a game. I'm just going to see where it goes. I'm just going to be open, because we live in a world where it's very controlled and it's very kind of like specific. And that's the problem. When we step into that awe and childlike wonder and have fun, you know, I was born serious. I came out of the womb serious. So for me, I'm going the opposite way now. I'm going back to my childhood in my older years. So it's great. This is great to be able to play. It's great.
For me anyway, oh geez, we're on the road. For me anyway, what I actually love, hold it. Love, hold it. Love about this is the fact that, you know, our ancestors are brought into it. Intuition is brought into it. Spirituality is most definitely brought into it. And as a, you know, a team of light leaders, whether people identify with that or not, or way showers or whatever, like this is definitely going to help you, like in like your next step. But not just that, it's healing so much that's in the lineage, and it's the new paradigm. You know, I'm just like, woo, yes at that.
It's really interesting because Lenny, I don't know if well, we've got question and answers at the end, haven't we? But Lenny had said that in one of her messages. Lenny came to the retreat in 2019, and she's been a star, because if you only knew behind the scenes what was taking place for me doing this, life has been a bit tough, and it's been good because I knew that these tools were the future. That was it. There was no question. These tools are definitely a gift back to humanity, and they're for everybody. It's to create a level playing field. Many people in the field of healing, in the field of spirituality, in the, you know, just in the light workers, way showers, there's many people that have stepped into that place early, which has been great. What the game does, it helps to reassess where people are at. So all the things that we did before, and like I said, light workers that were more progressive, this is a place to really reassess and revalue and self-care and develop without compromise. So no compromise of how you earn your money, because that's one of the biggest things with a lot of people in our field. How do we earn our money? It's a bit controversial, but at the same time, it's kind of like we've been taught to earn money off people's sickness. It's not good. That's how we've been taught, because we need to put food on the table. It's understandable. So all this is doing is saying, you know what, you don't need to do that anymore. You can do that until you make that bridge. But we're going to show you how to not compromise in any area and to self-care. Because when people are telling us their problems and putting that, no, it's done. That kind of way of doing things is done. This is about self-care. This is about self-empowerment. So it's being able to say, look, the very same tool that I use, you're going to use, and you don't need to pay for it. It's free. So that way it's like, really? And then we sit and we can be online or we can be face-to-face. I actually can't work close to people because I pick up the as we do. But I think because many of us are so numb, we don't realize just how sensitive we are to other people's dense energies. And so that isn't good. That's not a future energy. So this is about everybody sitting in their power and being empowered and really taking it to the next level. Because when people play the game, they take the layers off. They go down the layers. It's quite interesting. And when I first started with this, people would come back to me and I'd say to them, have you got your list? Where are you up to? They wouldn't come back unless they finished what was on the list. Because many people have learned just to go and just offload. Let's just offload all, leaving the black bags all over in people's homes, you know, the black, and it's like, that's not right. You know, so this is really about people taking responsibility and say, do you know what? I'm going to own that darkness and I'm going to transmute it. And then we all live in a better world.
I'm just going to just acknowledge some people. I have gaggles on, gaggles off. 1 second. So I just want to acknowledge some people that are on our Facebook Live. So we have Angela I keep saying Roger, it's Rhoda Gager. And she says Angela. Hi. Brandy's watching. Donna's watching. Willow is watching.
Fantastic.
And Angela said this is fascinating. It's like letting the universe to take your hand and guide you.
Absolutely.
And Wayne is watching. Sorry, Wayne, I only just saw you there.
Wayne, claim your game. Like I said, I can't force people to claim it, but honestly, it's one of those tools that every home needs to have. We need 200, like I said, we need to beat Monopoly. When you look at Monopoly doesn't teach you anything other than the corporate way of being. You know, that's not, you know, we want this to be as big as Monopoly. That's the goal.
I find it totally fascinating. I don't know if Lena or Claire would like to add that in there if they wish. If not, that's cool.
Lenny?
Sorry, what did you say? Once again.
Say that again.
Well, you asked a question.
Did you want to say anything, Lenny?
Anything. Well, I have a lot of things to say, actually. I don't know. Now I've been working with the game for over a year. Right now I'm playing it in Denmark, and actually one of those who claimed the game said that she would like to do it, but not in English. If I get it in Danish, she will do it. And a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I did set you the challenge, didn't I? I said that if you can set a club up there, we can try and see we can get it into different languages.
Yeah. So, but for me, it all started when I joined your Tell Your Story process, you know, and that's actually 3 years ago now.
What was your book title, Lenny?
That was actually Life After Compromise.
Yeah, so the book process basically is the same as the game, but it's in a book format. So everybody co-creates by writing their story, but we have 20 chapters that are all the opening chapters that people write about. So we have Lena's story, my story, Lena's story. My story comes out, Lena's story goes as prominent, and a page for people to write their story. So many people will read a book and they'll be inspired. And I used to think, oh, why don't they have a page just for you to write, you know? And then when I was going through my own life after stress, anxiety, and depression, that was the book that helped me to heal. I just thought I need to write about these areas of health, money, and I'd gone through another crisis and thought, what have they all got in common? And so Lenny jumped on and was one of the original pioneers of doing the book online, whether or not we would have the same impact online. And it was all about releasing the ancestral energies that didn't serve us. And back over to you, Lenny. It was a powerful process, wasn't it?
And I didn't know what my title was going to be. And it was actually what you're talking about, this, you're compromising and you're not living your true self, actually. And when you get into this, you find out that you're actually compromising. I was compromising all the way through, and that's why I didn't thrive. And when I started, also playing the game, I figured out how I could live my life and reach my goals and actually do the things that I love to do. Just 1 second.
It's gone down the path. You're going to get the game.
I'm cooking dinner.
Oh, you're cooking dinner, bless you. I thought you was running down the path. Yeah, I mean, it's been brilliant because each person who comes along, and this is, I mean, it's just been unfolding. It's like I can explain to people what it is, but we're creating. And Lenny, I know that you will, I don't know what you're going to say, but I feel that it's been an unfolding, hasn't it? It's kind of like when we ask the questions, it's like, no, I can't answer you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not you. It's like, if you want to bring it into Denmark, let's find a, it's that thing of, let's find a way to do it. Let's find a way of that, and that's literally it. Absolutely. Susan's in Ireland. Let's find a way to do it.
Well, and it all unfolds one step at a time, you know, and all the answers comes like day by day.
Yeah.
Suddenly the answers come up.
Absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing, because it really is awe and wonder. I am the world's worst, I'm sure, at planning things. I love planning things. I love trying to reach, you know, putting different things down. The universe just says, no, I don't think so. We're going to do it this way, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's adapting to change in the moment. When people say they're living in the now, it is about living in the now. I also think as well, people will say, oh, just, there's a lot of people, especially in the spiritual community. And I say that because I think a lot of us have absorbed a lot of the spiritual community. We're taking them on. You know, we really are taking them on, because some of the things that we've been told aren't quite right. So I put out in the spiritual community, how are we feeding people? Because I do this homeless. I do it without my own home. I gave up my own home 7 years ago to do this. I was dying and I needed to. But at the same time, I've lived with community for 7 years. And believe you me, I'm ready for my home. I'm ready for the retreat. I'm ready for it. I'm not begging people for it, because I know that I've had to do it this way. Everybody claiming a game is putting a brick into that retreat. That's what they're doing, because it's a community. And if one person can do it, and this makes me just feel like, oh, we can all do it. This process is for everybody. It's like, that's why we want to feed 1 billion children and families with food and shelter. I had to be in that position, and I don't think everybody needs to be where they are where they're homeless. So it's like, this is my testimony. So my testimony is I've been able to manifest beyond my wildest dreams. And I am somebody who came from a very fortunate family, even though I would say fortunate, because for me, I've just been able to be me. I've been rejected. I've been alone. But at the same time, I've not had anybody. Yeah, I've had people saying, gosh, have you lost the plot? Absolutely. But you know, those are the best things, because I don't have to answer to anybody other than humanity, the world. And honestly, my heart is, I had to give my home up in order to claim the world. And so every single person, the last person who's starving is who I'm concerned about. That's it. That's my life, you know. And so all of us are responsible, and we can be with this process. It's just, it's incredible.
Can I hop in here for a sec, lads? Yeah, I nearly forgot about that as well. Like, this is just what I love about all of this, and Lena as well, when I witnessed you the other day as well. Like, us living on Earth, right? Okay. It doesn't matter what background we have come from, like, you know, there is no right or wrong. But what I want to say is, like, you know, we as a community, we want to give back to community, okay? Like, we see people on the streets, and, you know, and everybody has their own opinion, you know, and that's your truth. And I'm not even going to go down that road of why you think this, and this, right? But we just want to give back to the community. I have such a passion in regards to getting this out there, because there's not just the homeless. Like, I want to help people like enslave and you know, build crops on our own land. And that's why can't we just all unite in unconditional love and do this together? Like,
that's it. It's like, when we talk about oneness, the game and the book is very much a bridge. And what I realized when people say 3D, 5D, I didn't really understand, you know, what people were saying, but I knew it was about energy. This is the bridge of transition, is the 4D. And when, you know, this is the bridge of transition. And it means that what we're doing is we're all getting onto the same page. You are not able to go onto the page that I've experienced. I'm not able to go on your page. And that's okay. But what we're doing is finding common ground. And when you look at these issues affect all of us. All of us are affected by time, by health, by money, personal growth and development, hopes and dreams, and legacy contribution in the plan and goal. We're all affected. So what's happened is we've taken all our differences and just put them into, okay, what have we got in common? Where are the imbalances? If we can create imbalance in those areas, the biggest one being money. When people told the story, they identified money as being one of the biggest issues. And when I sat, I just listened to about 10 people. I just said to them, how much money would make, in fact, for the live people, actually for everybody, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? How much money would make a difference to your life right now? Because when we ask this question, it's really important. Some people will say, oh, I'm not bothered about money. I don't know what planet people are living on, because right now that's our main exchange is money. So we have to be bothered about money, because money is about a resource. And if we had a resource that could impact millions of people, that's what we need. There's not enough good people with abundance of resources. That's the problem that we've got in our world. So if we, and so many of us have been taught, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. The love of money is, is the love of, it's the love of money. And I can't remember the rest of that. What did I say about the love of money? Something about the love of money. All the things around money is often, it's like give to charity. What about receiving? Because right now, a lot of people are not, you are totally, oh, what's that?
Yeah, I messed up. You just everything you're saying. I don't want to interrupt your flow because I'm so intrigued by what you're saying. I am, actually, I feel like we've met before. So
I knew your name sounded familiar.
I used to work in Manchester. I'm an artist. I've done loads of work with communities and different therapies work. Obviously, that was a few years ago now. But I feel like we've connected, but that might not be in this lifetime anyway.
Yeah, I knew it sounded familiar though. Honestly, isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it is really interesting because I say this is what's happening with with universal abundance as well, and it's the same thing that you're talking about. It's connecting these people that need to be connected that don't even know how or why or what for.
Yes, exactly.
And it's I mean everything you're saying, obviously from my background in the work that I was doing, and that this is just, oh gosh, I just resonate so much with everything you're saying. It's kind of that whole the way that all the societal structures have to change, and we can talk about why people are homeless and we need to give them money, but it's not, that's kind of not the point. The point is that none of us want to live in a society, in an environment where there are people that are homeless, where there is this imbalance. That's the core thing. It's not about oh, I don't know. It's
not.
I think charity. We don't want people to get to that place in the first place. We want everybody to feel valued, and everybody. And my kind of passion at the moment is to. For me, it goes even further back. It goes back to working with the mother in every sense. So connection to the earth, connection to Pachamama, connection to Gaia, which then empowers women to be the mothers that we are designed to be, so that we can nurture and empower our children from the minute. Well, we don't even need to empower them. They're born complete beings. It's just everything that we do that detracts from that. And then we're trying to correct it when we get to anyway, sorry, I don't know.
It's perfect.
It's so beautiful what you're saying. And
Thank you, Claire.
Totally agree, like I say, from all those years of working in that field, and working with communities to try and build communities through art, I can just see how this, I don't even really know exactly what you're talking about right now, but I'm like, yes, I can see how this is so useful.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting because when I was in Preston, when I was working, I did a spell, don't use that word. I had an opportunity, it was like a spell actually, but I had an opportunity to work with the council, and we worked with 150 creatives. And bearing in mind that my background social work, so I was the only one who wasn't an official creative, but I created the game. And so I thought, I am a creative, and I loved working with the different creative people because I could see this vision, but unfortunately, it was before its time. And I just thought every artist needs this game because it wasn't so much, and it didn't have everything there at the time, which is interesting because what the game does is each person can generate an income from using the game. So I just thought if they've got a tool there, because often when we go into somewhere, and this is the challenge that we've got when we're healers or whatever label we put on, we go in there with a specific solution. That solution might not match the target in the sense of who are we there for? Because if we go in there, it should be we go in there, which is what I did. So in 1999, I walked into this woman's house who had said, "Can you help me?" And I just said to her, "I have no idea." I didn't have my toolkit of my social work toolkit. I went in there as a volunteer manager and she wanted some help and I didn't know if I could help her. And I literally walked in and I just thought, I haven't got the tools that I had. And that's the key. If we have the tools, we might not always have the tools to what somebody's problem is. But if we're able just to sit and just say to her, and that's what I said to this particular lady, the game wasn't ready then. And I just listened to her. That's all I did. And I thought to myself, do you know what, Anthea, you did have your tools. Your tools were to listen. So that's all that the game is being able to say to people, come and play it, see where there's an imbalance, what's your biggest challenge. But because we're asking that with the game, we also need the solution. We have the solution. So if somebody says, my health is imbalanced, money's imbalanced, it's like, well, where's the solutions? And so we as empowering angels gathering those solutions and sharing those with other people. So that's what it's, so it literally is about being able to offer people our listening ear and then take it from there. So human beings, it's just, we're humans. That's what we are first, forget the label. And then by networking with other people around the world, then we're creating our solutions, which is why universal abundance is fantastic, because it means all these individual people that are out there that have got all these skills and tools, but they're also claiming their sovereignty, they're claiming their financial abundance. And that's the beautiful thing. So it's like money becomes irrelevant once we tip, because we then start bartering or we start creating a different currency. So this is about energy. I call it the spiritual currency. I call it a circular economy, where we are circulating our funds in order to be able to benefit humanity. And at the same time, we're developing this is our spiritual currency, which is a currency from the heart. That's what it is. It's nobody can pay us for that. That's what it is. So it's a whole lot of different things. So thank you, Claire. This is the beauty about when we talk, because there's different triggers that are brought in as well. And like I said, with the project for the artists, I could see that artists were doing their work and were reliant upon an income from the work. And I was kind of like, how can you be creative when you've got this pressure of needing to feed yourself and keep a roof over your head? It doesn't make sense. We need to separate it. So we need something that's going to give you the funding for you to excel at your creativity. So it's like separate the two. Don't think, oh, I have to earn my living this way. It's like, no, you don't. You might actually be able to earn your living this way. That's going to help you to do that, which is why being able to do that, mums can stay at home with the children, because that was one of the things. It's like, where is the alternative for our mums and fathers to stay at home to nurture the children? It's like, come on. And so, Lenny, and that's what we're here for. It's like, okay, sometimes the lady who was in the lady with a disability, she couldn't get out of her circumstances. She couldn't do that. She needed some people who weren't in the same circumstances. So it doesn't matter if, for me, it's like, whatever your issue is, I'm there for you. I've got your back. I might not have that, but you're showing me a part of me. I want to be able to show a part of me to help you, So, Lenny, you wanted to say something there?
I just had a thought, because I play with a lot of people now. And what I have discovered too is, like, even though you have one topic you are working with, it affects all other topics.
Everyone.
And very often this thing about money comes to your worth, what you are worth, what people think they are worth. And a lot of people discover that they have a very low self-esteem. And by working with that and going back and figuring out what's the reason of that, and I have to work with that, and how I can work with that, then comes the thing, okay, I'm worth of receiving.
Absolutely. And that's the thing.
Something people are thinking about, that this has a connection.
It's massive. That self-worth is massive, and it is something that that a lot of people, you look at you look at our education system, and we are not taught about self-worth, self-esteem. We're not taught about it for a reason, and this is the reason. It's like 40. I went into school and I was told to go and play in the Wendy house, with the other children, and I was the only black little girl in the school in that class. And I looked over and I just thought, not feeling this, And so I thought, and I was just nervous, really, really nervous. And so I went over to where the chairs are and I turned the chair around and I just sat. I was on my own. I just sat and waited. And a little girl came over, and never forget, her name was Maria. Interesting. And she said, what's your name? And so we started talking. But it took me a while to get back to that. So what I said in that moment, I wasn't going to compete in education. Education is set up to where we compete. I said in that moment, I want something different. And so the seed was planted 50 years ago, because I knew that I had to create something that was going to bring out my emotional intelligence. And one of the beautiful things is that there was an 8-year-old girl in Manchester, funnily enough, Claire. I'd gone along. So I've tested this game out in so many different situations, which is why I'm saying it's for everybody. Everybody just get the game. You tell me how you're playing it. You tell me what you're finding from it. Just like what Lenny's doing. Susan, you're going to be doing the same. Because one of the things so important, absolutely homeschooling. We've got a homeschooling process as well that I was able to develop, which incorporates the game. And whilst I was in Ireland, I was in a homeschooling group, and it was just interesting observing and thinking, okay, let's incorporate this. And I was fortunate to be with a little girl who was 7, and she was looking after me. Long story, but yeah, Buddhist retreat, ended up with diabetes, was volunteering, exposed darkness in that space. So when we talk about spirituality, we've got to recognize it's got to come from here. We can't look outside of there, because there's so much corruption that when we expose it, that can be damaging to our self-esteem as well. So the self-worth came from looking within. When people sit and they start going through the game, it's a common thread. And it's because we're seeking outside of ourselves for what's within. So this is about nurturing that inner space. And going back to the money part before, Susan, which I'm just mentioning, when I realized just asking a handful of people what would make a difference to the how much would make a difference, the majority, there's two things. The majority of people identified about £2,000, £3,000 a month. Now, that's fine, that's good. However, it's not enough. £2,300 a month is just for you and your family. When you look at that's a micro, when you look at the macro and just say, well, do you know what? Actually, it's a bit more than that. And when people play the game and they identify a money value, often they'll throw the dice again and it lands on another monies, and it says, increase that. Because what the universe is trying to say to us is there's not enough people with billionaire ideas. That's what we need. Because there's massive amounts of imbalance in our world in lots of different ways. We might not know how we're going to do it, but if we just set that rocket and say, do you know what? Mine was 1 billion. People are like, how are you going to do that? 1 billion families. Lo and behold, a few months ago, I met a woman who wants help with her project, and she's looking after children who have been misplaced because of natural disasters, who are orphans. She's got billions of children. So I didn't need to know. I didn't need to look at my navel and think, how am I going to do that? The universe just says, put the intention out there. And that's what this game is. It's an intention game when you do it collectively. So the people that identified this 2,000, 3,000, I sat down and just thought, wow, that's about 24 million that people had identified. That was just a small handful of us. I thought, wow, so 24 million, let's say, pounds of ideas, or no, concerns and worries were being filtered out into Mother Earth. Debt, don't have, wish I had, need more. All that was going. I was like, that's not right. That's not fair. it's like, okay, so if we come together and say, okay, we're going to work on that, we're going to work on 24 million as a project to bring that in so that we can then transform parts of our world. And that's the thing, when people sit in lack, that's the impact that Mother Earth doesn't deserve that energy. Let's raise it, let's flip it, let's empower ourselves and build our self-esteem. Let's recognize that when we do have funds, that's a massive responsibility as well. And it's like, okay, you know, are we used to having wealth? It's been denied us, but we're made up of trillions of cells. We're trillionaires. That's it.
I had a little story on that. About 2 weeks ago, I went for a walk with my mum, and I'm trying to, you know, teach mum that, you know, whatever worries and you know, life that's going on with you, I said, just hug the tree, and you know, whatever comes out, you don't even have to say it, and it's just an intention. But I actually last week, you know, I just went over and I was holding the tree, and I just, in my head, it was kind of like, right, let's see if I can word it. The spirit of source within me would like to say hello again to this spirit of agape and Pachamama. And it was like, welcome home. And this surge of energies that just went through my body, I was like, oh my God, this is so powerful, you know? So,
essential, isn't it?
Oh,
essential.
You know, like we're not just trying to look after ourselves, like looking after ourselves. When we were growing up, looking after yourselves was selfish. And you know what? The world is the way it is because we were taught wrong. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to throw out there, right? I've no filter. And conformity in itself nearly fucking killed me. But it was like 3 years ago when I just said, you know what? I've enough of you fucking telling me what to do. I have enough of the bullshit. And I actually believe, now I'm not going to go into, right, the VX and the C and whatever. I'm not going to go into that because now for me is not the time. But I'm actually so pissed off with like so many people telling me what to do, you know, and everybody living in fear. And it's like our old paradigms that have us stuck, because you're not supposed to look after yourself. You are supposed to get out there and work 3 jobs to have a decent life. You don't fucking have a decent life. You end up running yourself to the ground, and you don't have time for anybody else. And for me personally, to stand with nature and have the time to do that, like that's huge. Yeah. But like if every one person just took a few minutes out of their day and just said, you know what, there's people in the world that's, I'm just thinking about you, I'm sending you love, and just visualizing sending them love, and you know, all the fear factors that's being instilled. And again, I'm trying not to go into it, but you get my gist. Yeah. You know, if we as say light leaders just stand in our light and send so much love to the people that are instilling this fear. And lads, for the love of God, will they knock off your telly and knock off the news and put on the radio and fucking dance, get out in nature and just dance in the rain if you can. Like Ireland at the minute is multiple weathers in the one day.
Yeah.
But while we have our people online watching us right now, I want to ask Anthea, like, does anyone online have any questions? Like, we still have a few people that is watching, and they're loving it, by the way. I'm trying to, right, there's a comment here.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, Claire. Do you know what? Imagine flying. Imagine connecting with souls, hearts, compassionate hearts, and creating something that is just that essence of creativity that just comes out of us. You know, that we don't know. I have no idea what I'm meant to be doing next. I have no idea. I just rely completely on souls to give me the answer, and it's from within. Wherever I'm meant to go for whatever lesson, for whatever reason. And right now I'm in a community of really lovely people. Do you know what? It's taken me a while to get used to it. it's actually taken me a while to get used to receiving. And I know that many people might feel this as well, that when you're so used to giving, it's the givers. And they talk in the Bible about the givers shall inherit the earth, the meek shall inherit the earth. This is it. I've got no doubts about it whatsoever. Because this is our opportunity to recognize that giving is okay. Being kind is all right. You know, when you're being kind, people are like, hold on a minute, there's something not quite. I was told not to be too pushy the other day, you know. I was like, I've been in a desert for so long. Do you know what I mean? I'm so thirsty for humanity on that level, connection. It's not pushy. It's like, actually, this is what our ancestors had to do to survive. Let's not go down the race route, but at the same time, let's understand and understand and overstand where people are coming from. Come and walk in my shoes for a moment and see why I am passionate. It's not pushy. It's passion that you're feeling here. And that need to connect with other people. I never used to speak. I used to just observe because that's what I needed to do. But I realized that my journey here is to do the opposite. Of what I was like. And most of us will resonate with the same. I just know that it will. Yeah. Oh gosh. Absolutely in the UK. Oh yes. Beautiful UK. We're on it. And that thing, Susan, what you said before, I think for me, what I do is I don't send anybody any healing. Everybody can just ask for it. There's an infinite supply. They can just get it themselves. What I do is I just blast out that love. It's what you do. You do, don't you? You just like, right, do you know what? Whoever's meant to receive this, do you know, right from the heart. And I remember 2016, I just wanted to sit and just blast love out, just that overflow. But it comes from that self-care. When we self-care and look after ourselves, then we have that surplus. And when we do that in community, oh my gosh, we're just, yeah. The goal is 1,111 games to be claimed. When those games are claimed, we've currently got, I'm really proud, 98 have been claimed. You know, that's massive. That is massive. Of not even, you know, not advertising, just doing word of mouth. And Susan, you just sharing the link, Lenny, you sharing the link, you bringing your people into your space. This isn't an organization as such. It's a group of people that just said, you know what, compassionate hearts coming together. I want to do something, claim the game. The game is, like I said, it's transformational. I can't share here. Can I share? No, you've disabled the. I wanted just to share the game so that people could see the actual. I mean, they've seen the board game anyway, but I just thought instead of sharing our faces, just to see because normally the game is what we do. We don't do. I know you wanted me to share about the game and how it came about, and I think with Susan actually, the fact that Susan, she speaks out about issues that a lot of people don't speak about. You know, like you said, conformity. When I saw that on your work, I was like, oh my gosh, the injustice. You know, a lot of people don't realize. And like I said, I'm not here to talk about the race card because I don't see color. I really don't see color. I just see people. And I know we're all the same, but I also know that we've all had a different viewpoint. And so it's kind of like I'm saying that when what I've developed here, what's been brought through is for everybody so that we can all celebrate our differences. And that's the beautiful thing. It's about a celebration. So when people trust me with the game, that's what we're building. In 1600s, I went over to America, not in the 1600s, but I went over to America and it was 1712. And I was presented with some information about 1712 that affected 300 years. It said this will be in place for the next 300 years. 1712. None of us were born then. So this stuff has got some deep-rooted historical stuff in it of how our world was set up to separate us. But when you think about it, we came from source. Source is oneness. We all go back to the oneness. So this bridge is about getting us that next step. So all of us working individually, that's fine. But work in collaboration as well, co-create as well. Bring your essence to this circular economy, which is, it's all changing.
I just, while you were talking away, and Anthea, just there, I just put the link in the comments in Facebook where like the access to this life-changing game. And like for me personally, and this is just something that I've thought of right here, right now, and it's it's sort of speaking to me, but I just want to, I'm not asking anybody that is watching this right now to do anything or to say anything, but I would love, if it resonates, that you share this game with as many people as you can. It costs nothing. It costs nothing.
And that's the other thing, because it costs nothing, which is a really interesting thing. Yeah. Whew, that's massive, because this is about self-worth and self-value. Believe me, that game is sold for thousands in colleges because it goes up in scales. And so there's a college, Preston College in particular, bought 2 of the games years ago. But I never I thought, no, it shouldn't be a game that is sold on that level, because it's priceless. It's priceless because of what it brings out. It's incredible. So I just thought, okay, can we do it for free? But I was told it's a gift back to humanity, so it has to be a gift. That's it. So if people can contribute and contribute as well, actually contribute. I was like, are you serious? Because to send this over to Australia, it costs £40, just to give you an idea of it. It comes up in, so you know that it's a game. It's all wrapped up and it goes into a tube. The tube is a tube of transparency. I love this. This is our new edition. Yay! The tube of transparency. And so when it's wrapped up and it's inside the tube, you can see. So it's a talking point. It's like a talking stick. And you know what? It had to be, honestly, the journey of creating this, it took about an hour to just create the game. It came from Anthony Robbins, the reason why I wanted to do this. I've gone along to Anthony Robbins events, Tony Robbins, that some people might know. I just resonated with his words. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's talking my language. Somebody's kind of like gregarious and all this. And so I thought, when he comes to London or UK, I have to go and see him. So I go to see him for the firewalk. And long story short, burnt my foot. Most people don't burn their feet. So burnt my foot. I thought, right, okay, fair enough. Obviously, I've got to go back. But there was a reason for that. Somebody needed help. And I immediately went into that nurturer, that carer, and I didn't think about me. So I had to go back and think about me. And so then I ended up having my foot massaged by a lovely Irishman, which was wonderful. So I thought that's the reason why I had to burn my foot. But when I went and did it again and burnt my foot, the reason it wasn't for burning the feet that was the issue. It was because I had to see Anthony Robbins perform. And the way that he performed, I was like, is it? But I just said, whatever I do, I want it to impact. I want 10,000 people to be able to do the same. I want a room where there's 10,000 of us, nobody on a pedestal. There's 10,000 of us all doing the same. And that for me is about equality. That's about leveling out the playing field. And so when you put it out there to the universe of what you want, whatever it is that your heart's desire, you just put it out there. It's on its way. It's already done. It's just that sometimes we don't believe it. And all we have to do is stay open. And I think that's the biggest thing within the spiritual community. We've done so much things on our own that we're not used to kindness. We're not used to, I look at some of the Facebook groups and I find it funny because I just see the policing that takes place and it makes me laugh. I can't be in Facebook groups because I can't help but just be intuitive and just share something. And then it's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, well, what do you mean? I'm being blocked. And I remember one lady, I was looking after my friend at the time who passed in September. She's in heaven and she's amazing. She's still around and she's helping bring this transformational. She's there. And I have the banners behind me of the storytelling in the book. And she felt uncomfortable, this particular lady in this group. She was like, I wasn't talking about that. It was just my backdrop, just because the wall behind needed painting, so I literally just had my banners up there. And she said, and I put a video out and she just said to me, I'm not being funny. She said, but I just feel a little bit uncomfortable. Uncomfortable about what? Just talking and just waking people up to themselves. She felt uncomfortable. So she said, I'm not going to allow you to put videos in this community. I just found that hilarious. I just thought, wow, are we so insecure with ourselves that we can't allow people to? I mean, I don't allow people in my group, I must admit, because I'm like, do you know what? This is about you. This isn't about sharing other people's stuff. This is about sharing your stuff. If you share your stuff, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind people sharing the impact that this stuff has on them, you know, instead of sharing other people's quotes. I can't stand that. Share your own quote. How's it? Bring it out. That's what we're here to do, bring it out. So, yeah, there you go.
This has been absolutely amazing. I'm curious, before we wrap up, I just want to see if anybody, like, again, if anyone that's listening in on Facebook, if you have any questions, and again, the link to claim your free gift is in there. And the more, like, seriously, this needs to get into schools, colleges, centers, you name it. And moving forward, it's okay for us to look after us. It's okay for me to take some time out to play a game that's going to have a massive change in my daily thinking and how I do things and how I feel, and knowing that Spirit's got my back, and knowing that my negative thoughts will be transmuted, and what happens in that moment, it's done, it's dusted, and it's gone.
Oh, like it's amazing, Susan. It's amazing.
It's fucking beautiful.
What did you say? Tell me how I want to get one out to everyone. I know so many. The thing is, do you know what as well, Claire, as you're saying that, one of the things about the game is that because it can enhance people's practices, and that's the beautiful thing. It's kind of like when people come on board, they're co-creating. So Susan and I are co-creating, and this is probably the first time, well, it's the first time I'm saying this to Susan. So this is how it works, because you just go off somebody's passion. So Susan was like, right, I'm setting up an event. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll be there. That's fine. And so obviously I've helped share and things like that. Lenny was the same. And each person who comes on are bringing their way. Then because it's one way that's in a community, then others will pick up and think, oh, I can do that, can I? Our creativity has been stifled. It's been absolutely stifled. Of how do I get this out there? And I was like, come on, how do I get it out there? So the way that it is, Claire, is just share the link. I'm happy to do talk, help people to claim the game. Just if people claim the game, that's all they need to do. It's just like, look, free game. I was thinking, you know, Christmas is coming up. If people celebrate Christmas, and I thought, well, people can claim a game for people's Christmas gifts. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like just do that, you know. And I kind of like said one per household in the sense of you only need one. You don't need lots of games, but you can order many games for other people. You know, just spread the word, get them out. You know, and as you learn and you play and you're empowered, then that's going to help you to step up more. I mean, it's just. I remember in schools, I played the game in schools. I played the game as head teachers. The game is like an unmasker. It unmasks the truth. So be prepared for your own truth, not my truth, your truth. And what we do is facilitators. We have a handful of facilitators who have been trained. They've been trained by telling their story. That's all they've done. They've gone through their own story and they've gone into another layer. But now that the world has changed, it's like now I can gift the game. I couldn't gift the game before. But because 2020 happened, it was like, right, spreading the word of the game will protect the game from people trying to take it and make it into their own and charge a fortune for it. The more people that take it and claim it, it's your game. You just gave me permission in another time zone to do this. So I'm trying to kind of like wake you up to that remembering. You know, you gave me permission to say, Anthea, right, no worries, you take that. The buffet table was there. I was like, right, okay, I'll bring it and power in an hour and I'll come and find you, yeah? And that's what this is. Thank you for joining us, Chantal. And so, yes, just claim your game and spread the word. And once we get that one, honestly, the 1,111 is the tipping point. And that tipping point means we have transformed our world. And I can't tell you much more than that, other than all your imbalances that you might have at this moment in time will be, we're working really hard behind the scenes on a couple of things. There's a group of pioneers that we've just tapped into the abundance, the universal abundance community that's just been given to us. And so it's a game changer. It was a game changer before that. This is just an added bonus of a game changer. So yeah, whatever worries you have, come along. If you want to play the game, we've got facilitators there, like I said. And no, I don't blame you. That's fine. We don't do everything on Facebook. We do, actually, you're in WhatsApp, Claire, or and you're obviously in Telegram as well, which is what we're going to be moving over to, I think, more. But yeah, that's fine. Once you claim the game, I don't know, have you put it in there, Susan, the link for the game?
No, not in the Zoom right here. I have on Facebook.
Okay, so if I put that in there, it feels strange doing this. Let me send you, Claire, what I'm going to send you is includeme.now.site/empowered. And this empowered link is just, I always wanted a good news channel, right? When I was growing up, I just thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a good news where people just video in? I thought, everybody will have to have a video, and they're just celebrating a child being born, and we just have all these. I saw this as well. I saw years ago, this where we would have touch screens where people would be on, and we'd see diversity, and we'd be able to touch the screen. And I just thought, wouldn't it be brilliant for people to be sharing what's going on in their world? And obviously, we've got that now with social media. And so the empowered website that's on there, oh, you're welcome. How does this all work? Just go and claim a game, Chantel, and then it'll all be revealed. How does it all work? We'll just work with you individually. We work with people, we work collectively. So each month we have a meeting of Empowering Angels to update where we're at. Our goal is to have the 1,013, I should say now, have those games claimed. When they're all claimed, I'm currently working on these, which is the seedlings. They're all the counters, so the FIMO, they're all handmade. I'm currently working on making those right now and hopefully putting a package together. So I've got 60,000 of these to make, and they're all going to be, we'll be working with a different FIMO, but these are all ones that we put in the oven and varnish. So they all take a lot of time. Oh, my ears have just gone. Chantal, how did you hear about us? Bless you. Yeah, we've got a recording. We've got it recorded, so you'll be able to get the copy of the recording as well later on. Thank you for joining us. Where are you from? Do you want to type that in the box? I don't want to pull you up too. Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, the different mindsets that are coming in. And so, yes, it's a case of, I can't remember what I was saying there, and I normally don't forget, but basically, the tool is for everywhere, without a doubt. It's like everybody who comes in, bless you, from Canada, thank you so much for being here. The intention is to spread it. So if one person goes into a school, then, that opens up the whole school system as an example. If somebody goes into, we've got the homeschooling, there's a couple of homeschooling actually, Claire people, there's about 4 people that are homeschooling. So there, again, we're creating something that's different. We've all got in common the tool of the game, but we're bringing our own personalities and our passions. And then with our extra bit of economic circular economy, then it means that people have got the time and the time freedom to be able to do. So we'll still be doing something. This is about shifting from doing to being. And as you said, Susan, when I played the game, I remember, just as the last thing, because there's so many examples of the last 11 years. When I was playing the game, I remember there was an issue. I could feel that there was something not quite right within the team members. I'd asked them and they couldn't, they was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong. And I was like, why am I still holding on to this? And the team member said to me, why don't you play the game? That's how obvious sometimes things are. And so I played the game. I could not believe, I was like, wow, this game is amazing. It was as though I'd stepped into the game for the first time and it lifted. The same happened in May, just May gone. I was like, right, I'm ready for this team of people to help lead them through this space. And the game just reveals, because it intuitively, as you throw the dice and you land on what you land on, what's happening is, in a way, the ego mind is doing something. The ego loves it when it's doing something. But then the subconscious comes in, and that's what's happening. So when you've got, all your senses, you've got your pen, you've got a card, which is really quality card. Many people say, do I have to write with a pen? Can I not use a pencil? No, you have to use the pen. The pen's there for a reason. It's because this is about valuing you instead of rubbing out. And people say, oh, can I use a pencil? These are two. It's like, oh my gosh, these cards are really, yeah, because it's about quality. And so when people receive it, everybody's going to be blown away that they've been able to get this for £10, believe me, because it costs a lot more. And so when, even I'm surprised. So when people write down that they've got that the ego is occupied. And so the truth pops up. And when you're with a facilitator, they're able to mirror back to you what you've said. And so it's you all the time that's got the answers to whatever comes up. And then you create the action plan. Many people don't even look at the card again. They'll pin it up. And because you've said that and you've released it, everything starts to work. So whatever your dream is, the bigger, the better. The more people that you can empower, the better. This is about all of us gifting from the heart and receiving. And that's the biggest part, receiving. Many of us have not received and we don't know how to receive. But when you're in this project, you're going to receive. As soon as the 1,100 games are complete, we go on to our next phase where you receive, and you have to receive. You choose what you do with it, but you have to receive. And then I can share with you what we've created in terms of, in terms of a passive income generator, in terms of a circular economy generator, because there's two lots.
It's actually we won't give too much away at this stage, but it's actually an abundance community, which is, you know, that ads for the paint, it is exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to truly, we're on here for an hour, nearly an hour and a half. Am I right?
Oh, okay. So it's questions and answers. I wasn't able to share the screen with regards to the game, or, you know, but hopefully people have got a sense of what it is. And, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it, that, just claim it. Just claim the game and spread the word. Please just spread the word. And if you need any help, let us know. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive. And it's very much about working with the unknown and trust, breaking down the trust.
Do you want to see if that works for you now? The screen sharing?
Oh, there it does. Yeah. So basically, you might be able to see, let me know when you can see it. That was pretty quick. Oh, the universe is working with us. Another. So this is the game. So it's a spiral. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. And so what we do is we state that there's a disclaimer. The disclaimer is that there isn't, that you are responsible for your life. And this is about empowering. You know, a lot of people, especially in the way that we care, a lot of us are helpers. Helpers are no good. We have to empower. So we're giving people, it's like, I use this tool. It's like, I'm walking the talk. And that's what it's about. Many people don't practice their own stuff. They can give the advice, but they don't work it themselves because life is just too complicated. So this is about saying, use a tool that's going to empower you. We've got the design, the name on the tool. I remember when I first created the game, I was like, this is a game back to humanity. So I can't put my name on it. And people were like, well, you a bit ashamed. It was like, well, no. But when the designer put their name on it, I thought, oh, okay, maybe I need to put my name on it and claim it, you know. And so I put my name on it, but now we've changed it to empowering angels. So the next lot that we're going to be ordering will be empowering angel, which is what we all are. So we just identify a name. We recognize empowerment as a choice. Right now, many of us are making decisions thinking we don't have a choice. We have a choice. Everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice. Maybe children, not quite as much. And I think parents need to exercise really good choices for the children. But this is about recognizing empowerment as a choice, which sometimes we've never practiced. You know, we don't realize it's bringing it out. And these are the areas that we've got, which I've shown you before, the little counters, the clock. So time or something specific, health, money, personal development, hopes, dreams, and plan and goal. And then all we do is we have a dice and we have a card and we have a pen. And we choose an area where there's an imbalance. We write it at the top of the card and we throw the dice and allow it to unfold. And then as we land on each of these, we match up these counters to the counters down the side you can see on the card. It's very simple. It's very simple, but it's like, it can't be as simple as that. I remember having a meeting with a chap. And so I used to go in the meeting, and because obviously a lot of people they'll speak to me on the phone, and then when they see me in person, they're like, oh, right. And so I'd see that quite often, like, oh, I didn't realize that you were, you know, I can only assume what people think when they see me, but didn't realize you were so beautiful maybe. But no, I could tell that he was like, oh gosh, you know. And so I said to him, put the game out, and he's just like, what? Is this the meeting? And I said, yeah, because we were talking about youth and about how to inspire youth. And so he played the game and he was like, oh, I'll choose, and he was like that. And then after he finished playing after 20 minutes, his body language went, can we play again? Yeah. And so I said, absolutely. He's the first person who's ever played twice in 1 hour. But it was brilliant because, and this was a guy who was a top coach who saw this as being a threat. Another coach, top coach in London, I asked him for a testimonial after he played the game. I sent the game down to him just recently because I wanted to put a video together of the testimonials. And he said to me, no, I can't do it. And I was like, what do you mean you can't do it? You've actually played the game. How can you not give me a testimonial? Surely you can give me a free play of the game. So my time was free. So I thought, okay, this is my challenge. Do I just leave it and just say nothing? So I just said, would you be so kind and let me know why? Because I'm really interested, you know? And he said to me, well, I have to check that this doesn't, you know, you're not competing with my business. Because he said that game is really good. These are powerful testimonials from people. You know, it's like just looking at the opposite. Often I would look at something and think, oh, is it that? And then, but I thought, no, you know, ask him direct. So coaches are going to feel threatened. They don't need to feel threatened. We're not competing. Do you remember 4 years and 11 months? This isn't about competition. This is about saying, how can this enhance what you're doing? Because each person who plays the game has got all these imbalances. It's the way that our world has been made up. None of us are immune. None of us are immune. This is about practicing ethics. That's what it's about. Being ethical. Just being ethical in the way that we empower people. You know, why should we charge a fortune for what we're doing when we can actually give somebody a tool and say, do you know what? Go and empower the world. Go and empower the children. You know, sitting and playing this with families, it's off the scale. Honestly, I'm just so thankful, Susan, and I could talk forever because I'm passionate about this, because I'm passionate about humanity. And bless you, thank you, Lenny. And I'm passionate about seeing our world change into the world that I imagined when I came here. I knew I came from love, but I knew that it wasn't here. I was like, where on earth have I arrived? You know? And so now I just feel that our world has 2020 transformed our world, where we all had to go within. And the slavery of humanity has ended. It's whether or not we can see it. And we're only going to see it through looking at each other and saying, how can I be of service to you? But at the same time, fill your cup so that you can be the best that you can be for humanity. Done. It's been a long time coming, this conversation.
Anthea, I can feel you. I totally feel you. And I the reason why I'm on board with you is because, oh my God, it's 11:11.
Ah.
Yeah, the reason why I said, you know, I did. I stalked you, and we all know that because I told you straight up.
You did.
But it was just.
Thank you for stalking me. You wouldn't be the first. You're joking.
No, but
nice to say. Oh, bless.
No, I just, before we close up this, like, I seriously, you're an amazing, beautiful being, and I want to thank you as well for sharing this time with me, and for everyone that is listening in, you know, sharing your experience with them and gifting them, yes, yeah, an opportunity to change their life and to change our generations are going to thank us, put it that way.
Yeah, that's it, the generational change. Absolutely, that's what we're here for, that seventh generation, to show the world a different light. It's like we didn't come here to do struggle. We just came here to understand the game. That's what we came here to do. By creating a game that prevents this separation. We've all been on our own for too long, far too long. It's time. We're home. It's time to come home in our spiritual essence of who we are, to connect with our family, our brothers and sisters. So thank you so much, Susan, because honestly, like I said, it's each person who comes into the space that makes this happen and makes the magic. Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, 11:11. It's. I have no words. I've done.
This has been amazing. This has been beautiful, and I'm not surprised. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. So ladies, just like if you want to grab yourself the gift, even not necessarily for yourself, but for someone else that, you know, is struggling in life, you know, and it could be any area at all. And
even if you don't feel like you're struggling as well, it's ideal, because
yeah,
you're there to be able to help others. You know, it's like once you tune in with yourself, the game tunes in with you. It's amazing. It tunes
that's
in
the
with you.
fucking thing that I love about this.
Yeah.
This is just so spiritually led. Like, oh,
Incredible. It's incredible. And I wouldn't be somebody who, you know, it just tunes in with you. And so when people get the game, I say to them, practice it 10 times. Get testimonials from people. Just play with it and discover it and explore it, you know. And yeah, that's what I was saying about the little girl in Manchester who was 8. She was very shy, couldn't speak, and then all of a sudden she was playing the game and she kept on landing on go back 2 spaces, go back 2 spaces, go back and throw again. And she landed so many times, and I just thought, there was like 8 children around the table playing. I was like, how am I going to manage this? And another 8 in the other room talking about enterprise and how they can generate creativity. So I was in 2 rooms. And that was a beautiful thing. You just challenged. It's like, okay, I'm meant to do this. And at the end of it, she was so quiet when she was speaking. But at the end, when we came back and all 16 were in the room, and I was like, how did you find it? And she put her hand up, and I just thought, wow. She was like, oh, I don't know if I can play. You know, that's like she put her hand up and she just said, I loved how I kept on picking up the counter. So the attention went to her because that's what she needed. It was just amazing to see, you know. So that's how the universe works through the game, just works through and just does what it needs to do for whoever is playing it uniquely for you. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, there's lots of testimonials. There's lots. I'd love to tell you more, but because there's just so many, just everyone lights up my heart. It's like, just play it. And the intention is for all of us to be in a space where we share our testimonials or where we get other people to share. So Susan, you'll be the same, where we're able to say, oh, I went and you know, this person played and this is her area. And so we're going to have to develop that as a team. But you know, so we've got the different niches that people talk about in marketing of where the game is impacting people, but it's going to take an army of us. So yeah, 10,000 is the goal, but we're just trying it with the 1,111 to start off with. So we're all pioneering it. So thank you so much, Susan. I look forward to our update whenever that's going to be.
So ladies and gentlemen, I feel that this is complete. There is the link in the in both, you know, modalities, whatever you want to call it, in here, where you can get the game. And this is a true passion of mine. And to finally have found someone who has such an inspiration and such passion, and you're not pushy, you know, you're very, very passionate, and I feel it in every essence of you. So I really thank you for coming on. And I want to really thank you as well for sending me the game to me so quickly, so that I can share it with, you know, so many people around me as well. So thank you. I'm full of love.
And the thing, Susan, the reason why you received the gift so quickly, that's the other thing, because I think other people might think, oh, mine will be arriving soon. You'd paid extra for the postage, and it was like, oh, I can refund you. And I was like, Susan, you paid extra. You're like, no. So I thought, you know what? Let's get the game out to you. And I didn't know that we were going to end up doing this. And it's like, I was just guided, send the game out to her, you know? So I needed to, because of who you are and what you've done. And so, yeah, I just so that people know that, you know, people won't get the game because they won't get the game immediately. We have to build that network before we can release it.
And it will be released.
Yes.
And then people will be like, where do I sign up? Where's that link up?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
No matter where you are.
Got anything that they wanted to say actually before? Thank you, Chantel. And thank you, Claire. And thank you, Lenny. And thank you for all the people that are on Facebook as well, that I wasn't able to connect on here. And I know that there's some people are saying, oh, I couldn't get in. Have I missed the meeting? I'm sorry, but we will do it again. And we have got the recording to send out to people as well. So thank you.
I love you guys. Thank you for staying with us for this length of time. And
Love you too.
It's been awesome.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Susan.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you too.